What's the matter?
The Hatter's the matter.
Or the matter of the Hatter. The former. No, the latter.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Film Fanatics. We're going to be talking about two movies this week, X-Men Apocalypse and Alice Through the Looking Glass. I'm film critic Bruce Bennett with madaboutmovies.org. And now I'm going to turn the time over to my cohort, Adam Mast with Cinemast.net. Adam.
Oh,
Silly man.
sorry. Oh man, that's what I was doing during both of these movies.
Okay, so we have something in common with these two movies. Why don't we
goodness.
start with X-Men Apocalypse?
Let's. I'm going to hand it over to you while I get my
I think
bearings
this is the
here.
27th installment of the X-Men
The
franchise.
27th?
Something. It only seems that way.
Just because there's not a war doesn't mean there's peace. He's coming.
So-
It's directed by Bryan Singer,
Right.
who brought the franchise to life.
His fourth outing as director
And
in the
he's an
series.
excellent director. Were there any good things about this film before we bash it?
I mean, it has entertaining moments. I would say that Apocalypse is my least favorite of the bunch,
Yeah.
without question.
I like the start. It's set in 3,600 years ago before the Christian
See,
era.
I thought
And
that felt like a Stephen Sommers Mummy movie. I
it
thought
did.
the effects were
It did.
cheesy.
I'm a sucker for the Nile.
I did not like that stuff at all. Let's set up the story a little bit, if you dare. It's a very
Let's not put anybody to sleep
no.
with that,
It's a
though.
very messy, convoluted. There's a lot going on in this.
A lot of
movie,
characters.
and a lot of it is dependent on you having seen the other movies
Right.
in the series. But on the other hand, it's very inconsistent with the other movies.
This film seems to me meant for hardcore fans. I
Yes.
don't know if the general public is going to love this film.
Right, and it takes place in the 80s, and they
Right.
even dropped the ball on that, save for like maybe a song and a scene where Quicksilver's playing Miss Pac-Man.
Right.
There's nothing vintage 80s about the movie. Oscar Isaac stars as the title character, Apocalypse, the
Apocalypse.
ancient.
He's the villain.
He's an ancient supervillain who basically doesn't, when he reawakens in the modern world, he doesn't like what he sees, so he rounds up some other mutants. It's basically like a mutant road movie, I guess you could say. They go around the world rounding
Right.
up these other mutants to destroy the world because the world is populated by a bunch of dumb, violent, false god worshipping people, basically.
Whatever it is you think you saw in me, I buried it with my family.
Together, we will cleanse the earth.
And
That's
we
the
have good
plot.
actors here. I particularly like the characters Nightcrawler, Cyclops, and Quicksilver. And of course, Michael Fassbender
Who steals,
as Eric the Magneto.
steals the movie.
Magneto
I don't know
is
that
great.
this man is capable of giving a bad
No,
performance.
and there is one section that takes place in war-torn communist Poland that I
Right.
think is kind of interesting, and it just shows to me.
But it
I'd
feels-
like to know more about his character.
Exactly. That whole sequence feels shoehorned into a big, messy movie.
Right.
What I wouldn't give for a movie, a standalone movie that just shows what happened in that 10 years
Right.
between
Right.
Days of Future Past and this movie. To me, it fell more on the Batman versus Superman side of things than the Captain
And
America
on top
Civil
of
War.
that, Adam, it's long.
It's very long. It's about 2 hours and
Feels
20
long.
minutes, and it feels it. It's just messy, and you get the whole big climax. It feels like a really over-bloated dream sequence from a
So it
Nightmare on
sounds
Elm
like-
Street movie.
So it sounds like we agree. We say skip this film.
Well, if you're a hardcore fan, I would
You're gonna see
recommend
it
you
anyway.
watch it on DVD, stream it. But I wouldn't pay to see it.
All right, let's see
Moving
how
on.
you feel about another film.
Liked it even less. I'm just gonna put
Alice
it out
Through
there
the
right
Looking
now.
Glass,
Let's talk about
a
it.
sequel to the very successful
Tim Burton movie from 2010.
from 2010, and that's why they made a sequel, because it
Of
was
course.
successful.
It's all about the money.
And I think I like Mia Wasikowska, who plays Alice. She's
I'm glad
fantastic.
you said her name because I can't pronounce
She's
it.
great, but I don't know that anything else is great in this.
I'll meet you when you're younger and I'm older.
I realise it doesn't make much sense.
Makes perfect sense to me. I'm Tarrant.
I know. I'm Alice.
Alice, you seem to have time.
It's beautiful to look at. Again, it feels like one long visual effect.
But
that
nothing
some
feels.
seasons-
There's no real magic. There's no
Yeah.
warmth. It's loud and there's a lot of animation to the point of where nothing feels real. And this
There's
is
no depth to the characters. I mean, I don't understand why all the affection for Johnny Depp's Mad Hatter. I don't.
It's irritating.
He's
kind
kinda
of not-
wimpy, kind
he's
of-
like
he's not brave, he's not courageous.
He's like a painted up Carrot Top.
Yeah.
I don't
know.
get it. And you know what? Disney has been so strong with their live action movie division lately, with movies like The Jungle Book,
Right.
Cinderella. We get Beauty and the Beast
Yes.
next year, which are so great. This movie is more like The Huntsman. It's largely lifeless. There's just not
and
a
there
lot of
have been
life
some
to it.
family movies, Adam, that had a lot of great visual effects, but also had heart. And I wrote a few down, like Hugo. Remember that? The
Yes.
Chronicles of Narnia.
Right.
I mean, even The Force Awakens.
Well,
you can
Oz the
have
Great
an-
and Powerful. There's a lot of that in here
You
too.
can
and I
have an
prefer that
onslaught of
movie.
visual effects, and like I said, this film is filled with it. Tim Burton was
Right.
involved, And
It's directed by
beautifully.
James Bobbin, who did the Muppet movie, the last Muppet movie.
Right, but it
is
feels like a
responsible.
very superficial plot.
It's
I really
flat.
didn't care about the characters. The Red Queen and the White Queen, they both kind of just look at the camera. There's a lot of close-ups because the makeup effects are so great. It seems like they're very proud of those.
And the contention in the movie is so, I'm sorry, it's ridiculous. The whole tart breadcrumbs thing.
Yeah.
The stuff that motivates these characters to be upset with each other is really laughable. And we're both fans of the Lewis Carroll, the source material, of course.
Absolutely.
And
And
the
Tim
Disney
Burton.
film from 1951.
Yes.
So yeah,
Spend more money on story and script.
I agree. Now I say skip it. I think we
I
say
say skip it too.
Switching gears.
Which is sad because there's not a lot of great summer movies out there. We talked about Sing Street,
Yeah.
which we think still is the best movie in theaters
Unfortunately, it's gone.
right now. From locally, but it may be in
And when
your
it comes
theater.
to DVD, I highly recommend it.
Right.
Switching gears, I want to close out the show with an interesting little bit of news. I'm a huge John Carpenter fan. Are you a John Carpenter fan?
Of course.
Bruce?
The Thing still haunts my dreams.
He's such an
Love
amazing
him.
filmmaker. The thing that a lot of people don't know about Carpenter, or the hardcore fans I'm sure do, the guy is a great composer. He does a lot of music for
Right.
his own films.
Sure.
Well, for the first time in his career, he's going out on the road. He's actually touring in Europe and
Wow.
the US right now. He's supporting 2 albums, Lost Themes and Lost Themes 2, which are original collections of music, but he's also dipping in and doing a lot of his score stuff live. Just the thought of that makes the hair on my neck
Right.
stand on
Awesome.
end. I'm such a huge fan. I want to go to the shows. If he's playing in your neck of the woods and you consider yourself a genre film fan, this is a tour you don't want to miss.
Well, there you go. A bright spot after we just completely bashed 2 big summer blockbuster movies. But that's what you get here on Film
Playful
Fanatics.
bashing.
The truth and nothing but the truth. And thank you for the sponsorship of Larry Miller Megaplex Theaters, who do a great job.
Yay, Megaplex.
And there you go. Another episode of Film Fanatics. I'm Bruce Bennett with MadAboutMovies.org.
And I'm Adam Mast with Cinemast.net.
And we're Film Fanatics.
Are you? Yeah, man.
So, is there any good movies on the horizon?
I feel bad because I recognize
feel
that these filmmakers put a lot of hard work into
And money.
these movies. They do. It's not like it was for lack of trying.
No.
But yeah, both these films are hugely disappointing. And another